The biggest game in college football is in the Big 12, and I think BYU is going to perform well. What about you? This is College Sports Insiders. My name is Mountaineer Paul, and you can find us here where we're doing your daily football and basketball conversations 7 days a week. Let's go. Welcome to the show. And what is up, guys? Welcome in for the first episode of College Sports Insiders. My name is Mountaineer Paul, and this is Troy Van Camp,
Yes,
my
sir. First
buddy.
episode, man. Let's
First
go. This is
episode, yeah.
exciting.
A little stressful. Starting something new. You always want it to be go well, and I think we've, maybe it's just me. I don't want to throw you in this, but a lot of overthinking with this and
Hey, a little bit, but it's
overanalyzing,
coming
and
together, man. This is it. It's finally here. We've talked about it for a little while, and it's here, and I'm excited. Like, this is College Sports Insiders, baby. Let's do it. Let's
yeah.
go.
So obviously, this show is we are two West Virginia fans, but I think at the end of the day, we love more than just West Virginia. We love college football. We love college basketball. And West Virginia is going to be my first love always. But to sit here and say that I'm not going to love and watch and appreciate everything else is crazy. So, what a way to start with the biggest game in college football. And I think very fitting considering my experiences as of late. And I thought it was perfect timing to cover this one. So, here we go, man. We've got, and for those of you guys wondering, we're just covering this game for now on the first episode. We'll probably expand into more and different topics where we'll do several topics throughout a show, that are different than just one game. But this game's so big, it probably take a couple topics. So you've got BYU, you've got Texas Tech, two of the best teams, not only in the Big 12, but in college football. And it's been an incredible start for both teams this year, especially the way the Red Raiders began the season. I mean, truthfully, they looked unbeatable, and that's like not even an exaggeration. But they do have the lone loss, which I don't think any of us saw coming.
Yeah.
And then obviously you look at BYU and the magical run they've had, barely squeaking by Utah at 7-0. And here we are. We've got game day. Literally, the entire college football world's eyes are on this game, Troy.
Yeah, it's a big one. I mean, the Big 12 has everyone's attention. Patrick Mahomes is going to be the game day picker on Saturday morning, and so it's a noon kickoff too at Eastern time, and I'm looking forward to a good one. This is, I mean, you mentioned even just as us starting here, College Sports Insiders, like what a time to start. One, because the air is getting cooler, games are getting more and more important and bigger, and college basketball just started. So like this is the perfect launching time. I'm super excited. And I think we are. I mean, what better game to start with? A Big 12 showdown, two teams that we know pretty well, and excited to get into the keys and give us some predictions at the end of this one. So let's do it, man.
Yeah, so this is a game that it's been heading this direction. We thought maybe Utah was going to be involved here too, and maybe they still have a say. Obviously, there are a couple teams in the league that still have an outside chance at it, but these are the top two teams in the league right now. And I'll just say, when it comes to BYU, I think number one, Bear Bachmeyer is an alien. There's no way a true freshman should have a 63% completion percentage, almost 1,700 yards. He's got 11 touchdowns. He's got an elite QBR. When you look at his QBR, it's like almost 80. He's a dual threat kid. He's got 9 touchdowns, really balanced attack. I think some people have said, I think I've seen Josh Pate quote where they said, BYU hasn't had to play from behind this year. That's true. That is true. But I do think that Bear Bachmeyer, we saw against West Virginia, Troy, he absolutely shredded us through the air. So BYU, although they haven't faced a defense like this yet this year, man, they have looked really good. So who are some players you're looking at in this game or what are some keys you have to the game?
Right. To me, I mean, both these defenses are incredible. Like, I mean, I'll throw some numbers at you here too, but I mean, Texas Tech's given up just 13.2 points a game, which is
that's
first in the
insane.
Big 12. It's number 5 in the nation. I mean, a lot of the talk with Texas Tech, right, is the money that they invested into this program, and it's paying off. They're going to be saying it's paying off even in a bigger way if they are able to beat BYU and continue on that trajectory toward, Big 12 prominence and CFP aspirations that they have. BYU's no slouch defensively. 17 points a game they're giving up, which is third in the Big 12. So I think that's something's got to give, right? Because both these offenses are very talented, incredible runners. LJ Martin is unbelievable, 789 yards on the ground for him to lead the Big 12. Then Cameron Dickey on the other side, Texas Tech, has 10 touchdowns, 750
Right.
his account too. So uh, and we'll get into the prediction in a little bit, but something's got to give. One of these defenses is going to have an uncharacteristic game, I feel, and I think whichever one's going to be is going to be the team that's going home with a loss. So this is a big one, dude. It's massive. Bear Bachmeier, we'll see how he steps up in his biggest game of his career on the road, College Game Day. We'll see what he does as a freshman if he can continue on the path that he's been on.
Yeah, I think, when you look at Texas Tech defensively, whether it's Jacob Rodriguez, whether it's Cole Wisniewski, Bryce Pollock, basically have David Bailey, who is one of the very best edges in all of the portal, right? He's an 11.5 sacks on the year, a 20.4% pressure rate. I mean, it's going to be really difficult I don't think they've gone up against the defense with this many NFL guys on it yet. Utah is close. They've definitely got some NFL guys on that defense, but this Texas Tech defense is really, really good. I'll give you that. But I do think that BYU has what it needs to succeed in this game. So, some players to watch on the BYU side if you're not familiar. Obviously, we know the Bear Bachmeyers, we know the LJ Martins, and obviously there's Chase Roberts, who obviously one of my favorite receivers in the Big 12. He is a deep threat. He's got 52 catches on the year, almost 1,000 yards. I mean, dude, he's really a matchup nightmare, and he really looked good against West Virginia when we watched that game.
Yeah.
But Parker Kingston also brings a flavor to the game that is, he can be the separator for them at times. He's a guy that you can hand it to on end rounds. He's a guy that you can hand it to on shovel passes inside. Like there's a bunch of different things you can do. He's great on special teams. Like he does so many good things for them, and that makes him dangerous and explosive. So I think he's going to be somebody to watch as well for the BYU offense. And, can they control the clock, control the ball in this game is going to be a factor, I think, because, obviously Texas Tech is an explosive offense.
Right.
And I'm really, really curious to see what that looks like with Douglas and company at wide receiver. Like they really know how to sling the thing around.
Yeah. I mean, I think too, Chase Roberts, you mentioned him. Still, as West Virginia fans, he had 4 catches, 160 yards.
He crushed us
against us, crushed us, and they showed, especially in that game, take it with a grain of salt because it's against that West Virginia defense who struggled a little bit this year, but they showed some explosive tendencies themselves, and so I think to me, if you were to pick one matchup throughout this game, one key to watch on one side of the ball in particular, it's going to be this Texas Tech D-line against BYU in their running game. Because if you're going to rely heavily on Bear Bachmeier and see what he can do against this back end, I don't know, right? You like what they've been able to do BYU-wise, like with LJ Martin, because he's been so consistent, so good all season
so
long.
hard to tackle.
Right. He's just that good. But then you think about Texas Tech, they're giving up 75 yards a game on the ground. 75 yards a game on the ground. That's number 1 in the nation. So and they're there for a reason. They recruited these guys for a reason. They spent that money for a reason, and it's paying off. And this is going to be, I think, equally, it's both teams' toughest challenge. BYU's offense against Texas Tech's defense, they're each facing their toughest challenge so far. So it's going to be good.
Right. And look, the last time Texas Tech lost a game, they faced a quarterback that was really good in Sam Levitt, right? But there were other things in that game that I think that BYU can replicate. that is going to make this a tough matchup, and we're going to talk about that right after the break. All right, guys, we are back here jumping into some game predictions as well. But we're going to, before we do that, a couple other points on this BYU game, and then we'll obviously predict that outcome. So, one thing that happened when they lost to Arizona State, obviously Raleigh Brown was good on the ground, but Jordan Tyson, who was one of the bigger matchup nightmares in the Big 12 for Arizona State, 10 catches, 105 yards, and a touchdown. Chase Roberts is a similar type player. He is. He's a guy that, when I look at Chase Roberts, he's a matchup nightmare at 6'4", 6'5", can run 4.5, 4.4 in the 40, and has an elite catch radius. Does Texas Tech have somebody that can match up with him? Obviously, they do have really good players in the back end of that secondary. Definitely not saying they don't, but Chase Roberts is somebody you're going to have to match up with. He's going to be tough. So I think this is going to be a big key to the game, obviously, because the last time they lost the game, a big physical receiver really made them pay in the game. And he moved the chains several times for Arizona State in that game. So that's going to be an interesting one, obviously. And then you take into account that, Texas Tech has obviously had different quarterbacks at different times this year, perform different ways because of the injury or what have you. Hopefully there's no injuries in this game, but Texas Tech's a much different team as well based on who's playing quarterback.
That's very true. The couple pieces that have been consistent for them, especially offensively, have been those guys we've already mentioned in the backfield. One, being Cameron Dickey, and then don't sleep on Jacoby Williams too. 92 carries, 520 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Both these teams like to get it done on the ground. Obviously, Bear Bachmeier is a major part of what BYU does on the ground, but both these teams have 21 touchdowns on the ground for them. So,
yeah, and Quentin Joyner. Obviously, I love that kid too. I think he does well for Tech. He's going to be another matchup problem for them because he can do a lot. He's a scat back, so watching him too. But let's get to a prediction on this one, man. I think. Obviously, we talked about it before the show. I like BYU in this game. I've said it all year. BYU is my second favorite team in the league. After my experiences up there, I'm not going to change that now. And the thing is, it's not like this is a 5-3 BYU team that I'm picking here. This is a really good football team that just happens to be playing a higher ranked team. But I don't think that's going to be the case after this week. I do think BYU gets an upset on the road. I think they pull it off somehow. 34-31, and Bear Bachmeier continues his ascent up the quarterback rankings in the Big 12.
Whew. There you go. Road underdog, you're taking them. I like it.
I am.
It's hard for me to, and I'm going to, though, it's hard for me to pick against BYU because they seem like a team of destiny this year in a way. That doubled overtime game against Arizona, like they just scrapped and clawed their way to victory in that one, found a way to get it done. They do. They seem like a team of destiny. Until tomorrow, Texas Tech. I'm going 27-21 Red Raiders. I like them at home. I can't. Their run defense and their ability to get after the quarterback, 11.5 sacks for Bailey. They're just so good, and they've been so dominant. And not to say that BYU hasn't been obviously very, very good, 8-0 off to just an incredible start, but they've, a couple games, right? I mentioned a couple, the 2 overtime game against Arizona. They had a couple other close calls this year, even in Big 12 play, 3-point victories and so on. So I'm riding the wave of Texas Tech. I'm riding it.
And you know what's crazy is from an NFL standpoint, Romello Height, the Texas Tech other edge guy, may be a better NFL prospect than even David Bailey. Romello Height is unblockable too this year. Romello Height is a really good player too. I mean, they've got a lot going on the defensive line for sure. They invested into it. I can only hope West Virginia looks like that on the edges someday. Goodness gracious, which we have a guy we hope figures stuff out this week.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any of the games pulled up, or do we need to pull them up in real time?
What do you mean games?
Let's go around the Big 12. Well, we're going to do some game predictions.
Hey, let's go.
Oh, I think we might have crossed our wires on that one. Big 12 games.
Yep. I got them.
You got them? Okay. Let's roll through them really quick.
Well, you got Houston and UCF tonight at the
Yep.
Bounce House.
Yep.
That's funny. Both of the big time Space Center places right there. UCF, Houston. Who you got in that one?
That's actually what they're calling this game, like who's going to actually be the real space.
Is it?
Houston, does Houston have a problem? I don't know. I was trying to figure out a way to work that in. Houston, we have a problem. I think UCF played so well against us that lingers in the mind. But as you know, one thing about college football that's crazy is we absolutely got destroyed by UCF on the road. We didn't come to play that day. And then we absolutely went on the road and played Houston and looked like world beaters.
Yeah.
And then we can look at that, take that information, and it means nothing in this game, right? Like at the end of the day, I think that you have to favor Houston in this game on a bounce back. Willie Fritz is a really good coach. And obviously, as West Virginia fans, you're probably going to root for them to win out now because you want this win to look as good as possible.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised to see UCF pull it off. But I will go with Houston to win the game. I think they've been really good all year, and they've got something to play for still in the Big 12.
Yeah, we're together on that one. I'm going Houston by a touchdown in that one. I think they bounce back. You mentioned it. Stole the words out of my mouth. So we'll move on, baby. All right. We'll save the Mountaineers for last, but that's on Saturday at noon.
Yep.
3:30 kickoff Eastern, ESPN 2. Kansas at Arizona. Arizona's favored by 5.5. Who you got there?
Yeah, this is a toughie. I think, Kansas has not performed how a lot of us thought they would.
Yeah.
Especially after how we played against them, right? But I can't go with Kansas in this game. I just can't. They haven't been playing well at all. So that's how I feel. What do you think?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, they've been an underperformer in the Big 12, and yeah, I mean, an opportunity for them to get above 500, the 3-3 in conference. Arizona's sitting at 2-3, but I will take the Wildcats in this one too.
And listen,
Arizona's having an
coming off.
underrated year. 21 touchdowns, 4 picks. He's been.
Oh yeah, he had a bad year last year. Well,
yeah.
I don't know if you consider it a bad year, but he had an off year last year,
Yeah,
right?
he did.
So
So I'll take the Wildcats too.
Yeah, he's better this year, but yeah, I mean, who knows? Either team could win this game.
Mm-hmm.
So
all right, 2 to go on Fox, 3:30 Eastern. Iowa State at TCU. TCU getting about a touchdown in that one in sunny Fort Worth. Who you got?
Yeah, TCU. Yeah. Give me TCU. Iowa State's I don't know what happened to them. I have no clue what happened to them. They have just totally. I mean, they had the big win at Kansas State. I remember. Obviously, everybody remembers that game because it was so watched by so many. To start the year, and then they were winning. They beat Iowa. I remember. Actually, let me just look. Yeah, so they beat Iowa, they beat Arizona, and then they lost to Cincinnati and fell apart after that.
Yeah, 4
They
straight.
lost to, so it's like you lose Cincinnati, you lose to Colorado, who we should beat this week, we hope. BYU trounces you, and then Arizona State beats you again. And you look at these are a couple one-score losses with Arizona State and Iowa State.
Right.
So, I don't know. Like TCU, they're capable of beating them, but I'm not going to predict it. I got to go with TCU.
Yeah, I got to go there too. Just again, it's hard to negate the fact that they've been struggling so much lately. Iowa State. I mean, 4 straight losses. Guilty until proven innocent is what I'll say on that one because they've been struggling mightily lately.
Yep.
All right, the showdown. Deion Sanders coming to Morgantown for a noon kickoff.
Yep.
You're riding with the ears, but what's the score there?
Yeah, so obviously this is a game where I just want to bump in Prime and thank them to have me on. Really love that show over there. They've grown that into a really big show, and it was a very honored to go on there. But I think for this one, everybody's writing off Colorado. That bothers me because even the Colorado people feel no confidence for this. And just like I think it's Brad Howell that says it, they're getting paid too. They're getting paid too. But they were telling me over there, Troy, that they feel like their coaches don't even know the plays. They don't even know the coverages other teams are in. He said he's a former college defensive back. He said the players are texting him after the game like, well, they're telling me it's this coverage and it's actually this coverage kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a wild scenario. Listen, sometimes NFL doesn't always translate to college, and vice versa. Pat Shermer's been a disaster. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know why. You know, Kevin Borba came on my show yesterday from Locked On Buffs and said it's basically a bunch of hired mercenaries that have gone into business for themselves now, and we don't know what Colorado's turned into. So I think in this one, all the ingredients are there for West Virginia to kind of get a little bit of a blowout in.
Yeah.
I'm still calling it to be a little close, Troy. I don't know until I see us do something like that. I mean, look, last week was as close to a blowout as we've had in a while with 10-point win over Houston.
Yeah.
And it was a bit, it fluctuated. The pick six, the muff punt, like we had a lot of things that happened for us in that game to get to that. Plus the way the offensive played. I think in this one, I just see it being closer for some reason. I don't know why. It's just a gut feeling.
Yeah.
I still think we're going to win, but can Scotty Fox regress in this game, or is he going to continue to go forward? These are questions. Would love to see him take another step and really start to make people say, literally, you can't deny he's got to be the guy going into the next year kind of vibe. I still think West Virginia goes out and gets a guy, Troy, but it would be nice to have Scotty Fox as like pretty safe bet.
Absolutely. I think he can.
West Virginia wins, though.
Yeah. I'm going West Virginia too. I agree. I think it will be a tightly contested contest. I'm going 31-27 ears in that one. It's funny because again, teams with identical records, 3-6 overall, 1-5 in conference play, and yet one fan base is feeling pretty good, all things considered, and one fan base who you just mentioned and had conversations with that's not feeling so good. And it's just interesting. I mean, that's the tale of two teams in this era of college football where it's just 1 week to the next, and the huge difference of feelings that you can have. Mountaineers have won one game in the last 50 plus days, and yet we're feeling pretty good. Yeah, Scotty Fox, want to see him continue to progress, of course. Even though statistically from TCU to Houston, like passing numbers, didn't make a jump, right? He regressed in that sense, but to me, he progressed overall, looked more comfortable as a quarterback, looked more like he could very well be that person of the future, that QB to take the reins and lead this offense next season. So if anything can come out of this season for West Virginia, it would be, we got a pretty good feeling we got a guy for next year. And I would love to see that continue over these next few weeks. So
absolutely.
31-27.
One more quick 4-second break, guys, and then we'll get you out of here. We got a couple things we want to ask you to do, and we'll be right back. All right, guys. So we've got almost 100 people watching, and thank you. That's really good for the first show. I think we'll take that. If you could, though, make sure you come over to the YouTube channel. I know a lot of you guys are on X right now, and I don't want to harp on this, but if you can, it's in the chat here on YouTube. But if you're not on YouTube, I put it in the preview video for this where I've said, we're going to be live and all that. So if you go to my page and go to my replies, you should be able to see it. It's youtube.com/@College Sports Insiders 2026. It's kind of a lot, but really it's just youtube.com like you're always going to do. And then @College Sports Insiders 2026. And here's what I'll do. The first, we'll try to get to 500 subscribers pretty quick. We're going to pick somebody within the first 500 subscribers. I'm going to give away $150 live on the air to your Cash App. You can show it proof in real time. I'll send it, show it on my phone right away. And so that'll give you incentive. If you want to come over here, hit the subscribe button, try to get us to 500. When we've hit 500, we'll look at those 500 names and we'll pick somebody to win $150. So that's an incentive for you to come over to College Sports Insiders and just hit subscribe, as well as some other things, guys. We've got Mountaineer Moment, where Troy does his own show, and obviously I'm at Locked On West Virginia, where I already post multiple videos a day over there. This is another venture that I'll probably be obsessed with and begin posting multiple videos on. And before you know it, Troy, I'll just be melded to my chair.
You might be. You might be. No, it's exciting, dude. I'm super pumped about all this, and great first episode. Great. I mean, it's a great first episode because we had really, really great content to deal with. BYU Texas Tech. This is going to be a game, and I'm super
Yeah,
pumped.
pretty easy stuff to,
Yeah.
you know, not that we're experts on either. And I mean, we'll probably get into guests at some point too, but we just both did a little bit of research on each team and just decided to jump on and talk about it. It's nothing serious.
Yeah.
But there will be more well thought out, more research shows in the future. It's just, that first show is kind of hectic because you're like, did we get the graphic? Did we get the music? Did we get to this? Did we get to that? So there's like all these other things that were occupying my mind. So if you'll just give us a little bit of time, for a first show, this is a pretty refined one based on what's out there on YouTube, but it'll get better even. So, we just ask that you stay patient with us as we grow. We both have thousands of episodes under our belt on podcasting and YouTube. So we know what it takes. We just need you guys to support us. And I know a lot of you guys that are watching do, and maybe a few of you hate watching, which is fine. I know there's you out there too, but anything else you want to say to the people, Troy?
No, I second all that. I mean, it's exciting, and we appreciate any love, any support that you guys can give us, and
suggestions too. I mean, even if it's the graphics or anything you think could be improved, just let us know. But yeah, we're going to get $150 to the first, one of the first 500 names. So it's a pretty good thing.
I love it. It'll be real biased if I end up winning that, so I'm not even going to hit subscribe on our on our channel. So, no, guys, thank you guys for being here. It's really awesome, and it's only up from here. This is just the beginning. College Sports Insiders here to stay,
guys. For Troy, for me, we are out of here, and come be an insider on College Sports Insiders, and we'll see you on the next one. We're out.
Let's go.